Hello and welcome to RankGPT. My name is Ridwan Mahmood and I'm the founder of this platform. And in this quick video, I'm going to give you a tour of how to get started using this so that you can win and succeed in this new era of AI SEO. So the first thing is I'll give you the quick start guide. So the first key thing to know in RankGPT, if you need any help and you need to speak to our team, you can do so using the support icon in the bottom right, and then you can click send us a message and let us know if you need any help or if you have any questions about anything, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. The second thing is in the bottom left of your account, you'll see there's a training icon. Here you can see videos like this one that show you how to use the software, and also we'll be adding lots of strategy videos that will give you tips and tricks for how to do AI SEO, SEO in general, Google Ads, local SEO, Google Map optimization, and so on. So this is your all-in-one hub for all of your AI SEO efforts. So, and then the next thing is that as you're signing up to the platform right now, so if you're watching this video after having signed up, the great thing about RankGPT is that it sets itself up. So normally when you log into software, it'll be empty and you have to put things in. What we do is we use our AI to actually set up a beginning collection of prompts to track for you, and that will be ready for you as soon as you log into the account. Once you finish watching this video, if you don't see some numbers showing on the dashboard, you can just click refresh after a minute or two and you should see some data populating. So this is a brand new account similar to what you'll have after you log in for the first time, and I'll explain what I mean. So you can see here, this is a brand new account where I've just logged in for the first time after creating it. And you can see we have what's called the demo collection. So in the demo collection, it's already identified a couple of prompts that are relevant to our example company in this case, which is a project manager, a whiteboard app. And you can see that it's already setting up and monitoring the responses and giving data on that. So the great thing about RankGPT is that it sets itself up. So once you log into the software, after you finish watching this video, just hit refresh and you will already have a bunch of data already here, ready for you to start taking a look at and monitoring and optimizing for. And then you can obviously go ahead and add more data that you want to monitor and prompts and things. And I'll show you now how to do that. But that's just a quick get started guide. You can contact us at any time using the support icon at the bottom right. We have all the training resources, and your account will already be populated when you log in with a demo collection of prompts that are custom tailored to your business that our AI has generated, and we'll already have that data ready for you so that you have something to begin working with and to take a look at. So I'll bring us now to the next section, which is how to track. So I'll explain now in more detail how you actually track your rankings with RankGPT. So here is the dashboard page, and at the top you have a summary, so you can see how many responses have been collected. So a response is when we send a prompt to a model, and then a response is generated. That's the response. Then you have active prompts. That's how many prompts that you're tracking in total. And then we have collections. Collections are basically folders of prompts. So as an example, let's say for example your app, and you're monitoring AirPods, and you're monitoring iPhone, and you're monitoring Mac, and so on. Each one of those can be a collection. So you can have a collection called AirPods, then have a bunch of prompts that you're tracking to do with AirPods. You can have a collection for iPhone, then have a bunch of prompts you're tracking for iPhone, and so on. Then you have sentiment score. Sentiment is basically your overall reputation with the AI models. And this is an aggregated score that you'll see in the summary. And what this basically is basically, it's not just does ChatGPT and so on, do they mention you and so on. It's also about, do they say good things about you? So you need to track and monitor your AI reputation. And that's what this does. Then here you can see recent activity. So whenever you log in, it will give you a summary to see if anything has changed since the last time you logged in. And then we here we have the AI models that are being tracked right now in your account. And you can go and set up these up, and we have all of the major models here, and we add them regularly as well when new models come out. So for example, at the time of recording this, Grok 4 just came out, so we've added that in, and we have all of the major models here. And the main models that will be set up for you automatically when you in the demo collection that you have in your account will be the ChatGPT web search model. That's the main model that most people are using right now in the ChatGPT usage, this model here. So we'll already have that set up for you. And then Gemini 2.5 Flash, which is the main Google model that a lot of people are using. And then I would also suggest that you also set up a prompt collection for Google AI Overview, which you can do in your account. and that is monitoring. So when you type something into Google and it shows you that Google AI summary result at the top of Google search results, that's the Google AI overview. So you can track these in RankGPT as well. And that's very important because if you're a disbeliever of the hypothesis that people are going to move away from Google for their search, well, it doesn't matter anyway because Google search itself is changing because with those AI overviews at the top. So RankGPT will help you monitor that. So then you come to prompts, and this is where you can set up the prompts that you want to track. So I'll use this as an example now. So this is the demo one that's already set up. I'll just show you an example here. So the great thing is that, again, we use AI to also help make this easy for you to set up. So you can see we have quick start templates. So I'll put in an example, say how to. Then we can choose the models that we want to track. So I can just say ChatGPT web search, Google AI overview, let's say Grok 3. And then we can get our system to generate the prompts for us, okay? Or you can generate the prompts, enter the prompts yourself. So you can turn this off, create the collection, and then you can manually enter them in. Or you can have our AI generate the prompts for you that people may be using when they're searching. So you can see, for example, it's generated a bunch, 10 organic, 4 competitor, 6 brand-related prompts. It's generating them, and then it creates the collection with those prompts. And then now you can see next execution ASAP. So it's just been added. So the system will uncheck these and that data would be soon available. And then it would also then automatically check it at a regular interval, whether that's weekly or daily, depending on which plan you're on. And then you can open it up to see the list of prompts that you have tracking. Then you can come down to responses. And responses is where you can see the raw response data to understand where you are at with your prompts and your rankings. So the key things they want to look at here is the prompt, the model, whether you get mentioned or not, and then which position you get mentioned, and then also whether the sentiment is positive or not. So look, I'll show you an example. So say, for example, let's say, what are the best online whiteboards for remote teams to brainstorm ideas effectively? This is on ChatGPT web search, and we can see that the company in this example has been mentioned, Miro has been mentioned, and they're position number 1, and the sentiment is positive. So this is an example where it's monitoring the ranking, okay? And so this will do this for you here. Now, Miro is a market leader in its space. Obviously, if you're using this, you may not necessarily be being mentioned or getting high ranking and so on. So obviously, the use of this platform for the how to improve your ranking elements will be very important, which I'll come to afterwards. So this is where you can analyze your prompts and see your rankings for them. Are you being mentioned? Which position are you being mentioned, if so? And are good things being said about you? You can see all of that here. Then we have sentiment, and this basically aggregates what is being said to give you a score on whether good things are being said about you by the AI models. And as I said, this is key for the future, because essentially what's happening is people are going to outsource their decision making, their critical thinking, essentially their reasoning with to AI. So it's important that AI has a good opinion of you. So this sentiment tool will help you to monitor this to make sure that the models and the prompts are giving you that you have a good reputation, so you can monitor this. And then in the history tab, and this is obviously a brand new account, so there's only one data point, but as you use this over time, you can then see over time how your sentiment is changing. Then we have citations. So what citations is citations are when you use ChatGPT and Gemini and so on, you'll see that it often gives you sources for the URLs that it is using to give you its answer from the internet. So citations allows you to monitor this and track what are the sources that LLMs and AI models are using to talk about you. And then this way here, you can monitor all of them to know what are the sources that AI is using to give its answers. And then you can monitor these here and then also understand what is the sentiment. So say, for example, if you're getting a negative ranking, a negative sentiment somewhere on some prompts, you can understand what is the source cause of this and then try to reverse engineer that to improve that. And you can check our training videos for the strategy behind this. So this tracks what are all of the places that are mentioning you that ChatGPT and so on is using as a source for its answers. Then finally, we have in the tracking section, we have competitor tracking. So this is useful to benchmark yourself against your competitors to understand how you're doing against them. So you can see it will give you a share of voice score, and it'll give you who your top competitors are. And then you can also monitor history to see how your share of voice is changing over time against your competitors. And you can also see a list of them and see how they're doing. So those are the core features for how to track your ranking. So it starts by setting up the prompts that you want to monitor. So think of these essentially like keywords. It's like, say, for example, if you're selling AirPods, you'd want to monitor things like what are the best noise cancelling headphones, what are the best headphones for a student, and so on. What are the best headphones for use on a plane? You'd want to monitor all of these kind of things, and you set them up in prompts for your product or service, and you can organize it together in collections for all of the related prompts. And then you can also use our AI to generate the prompts for you, and then you have all of the responses that you can analyze in the sentiment, citations, competitors. Now let's come to how to grow and improve your ranking. So the tracking this is what's going on with your ranking. Are you being mentioned? This is your position. Is the sentiment good or bad? Now, how do you actually do something about that? So then we come to the growth section of RankGPT. So the first thing we have is called content gaps. So what content gaps is the system analyzes the prompt response data for all of the prompts, and it figures out in the scenarios where your competitors are being ranked or being mentioned positively or being ranked ahead of you, what is the underlying information that is causing that, and then analyzing that to give you insights for things that you can do to have that same thing or better that your competitor does, so that you can have that ranking as well. So you can see here, for example, we have here, let's say, first one, for example, you can see it says develop an interactive ROI calculator for businesses to assess the potential return on investment from using Miro. You can see launch content around security and trust, have a white paper on digital transformation strategies, have a guide on using Miro for PI planning and agile teams, and so on. And you can see it generates a lot of these, and then the system organizes them for you so that you can analyze them and decide which ones to do, and it ranks them by the difficulty and relevance to your thing. And you can see, for example, here, a simple one, publish a detailed security and trust report that outlines biosecurity measures. So to understand what the example underlying thing is here, there could be prompts regarding what's the most secure solution. And then on Miro's website, there may not be the content that answers that question as well as another company is answering that question. And that's why that company has been favored. So in order to bring things up to par and outrank them, you need to have that content and better. So content gaps identifies what are the missing pieces of information on your website to get that doing. And then you can see other examples here. Write a blog post about Miro's data export options. Write a feature comparison article about offline mode, and so on. So this will point out all of the gaps in your content on your website. Because this is the thing, AI can only go off of the information that it has. So let's say, for example, let's say, for example, you're selling clothes, and the fabric of your of the jacket that you sell. If that information is not even on your website, then you're not even in contention to rank for if someone's asking about fabric to do with a certain product. So you need to make sure that you actually have the corresponding information that people are searching for on your site so that you're in contention. And what Content Gaps does is it points out the things that are missing so that you can have these actionable insights for what to do. And the next thing we have is citation opportunities. And what citation opportunities is we take a look at the sources and URLs that LLMs are using to mention your competitors, and then mentioning them to you as examples so that you can understand what are the sources that they're using that are causing you to be outranked or not mentioned, so that you can go in and secure similar links for your business. Or even contact the direct link so that you can then have that same thing for your business and be in contention. So just to give you an example, so like it mentions this one here, which is a website called UC Today, is mentioning a review for Lucid Spark, which is a competitor. And it's also mentioning, giving links to other competitors in the article, um, like Mural and Freehand. This article in particular is focused on how these tools are being used alongside Microsoft Teams. So this is a useful example because, again, it gives us the insight. Consider reaching out to UC Today to include Miro and future reviews or comparisons of whiteboarding tools for Microsoft Teams. So it shows that, look, your competitor has this article about them, about how they integrate with Microsoft Teams. That's causing them to have a ranking. So you also need a ranking like that. So this example is you can contact this site to ask them to be mentioned in the article, or ask them to create an article about you, and you can then reverse engineer that. You can check our training videos for more information on the strategy behind this. But citation opportunities will basically show you what are sources and references that your competitors have that are causing them to be mentioned that you don't have, so that you can then go and build similar things with outreach and so on. And then coming to the next tool, which is Citation Builder. This is where we can then actually also help build some of these citations for you. So what this does is this is going to be primarily valuable for local businesses. If you run a local business and you're trying to get local rankings, this is very useful. It's also helpful for SaaS businesses and service businesses and so on, because what this Citation Builder tool will do is you put in the information on your business, and then our software and our team will go and build for you directory submissions, which will then serve for you as more citations so that you can have more chance of getting mentioned in the LLMs. And this is something that you need to set up, and then you'll passively get these citations slowly in the background and see your rankings increase. And then finally, we have the Bing Indexer tool. So what the Bing Indexer tool is, basically the LLMs, a lot of them, they're using the Bing index behind a lot of their rankings, particularly OpenAI's, of course. So what this tool does is it makes sure that all of your website is being indexed by Bing, so that ChatGPT and so on is aware that your website exists, so that you're in contention to get that ranking. So those are the growth tools in RankGPT. So you can use these to identify what is wrong with what you have right now, what are other people doing better than you, and it tells you what to do so that you can fix that. And then we also help you build citations, and we also help make sure that your website's visible to AI by making sure that it's indexed. So that's overall the RankGPT platform. So this is your key all-in-one hub for dominating the new era of AI SEO. So if you have any questions, contact us and get started and start to take this seriously, because this is the future, and RankGPT is going to help you succeed with this new future opportunity of AI SEO. So thank you for watching, and take care, and contact us if you need it.